Hi, everyone. I'll give it another minute or so. Maybe some other people will join us and we'll start in a minute. All right. Okay. So I think we've got. I think there are about maybe 9 or 10 people in the course. So if they join, that's great. Hello, everyone. I'm going to introduce myself officially, although I've met many of you. My name is Ala Meisler. I teach art history here in the department. So I will be your instructor for this very, very quick class. The purpose of today's session is just essentially go over the syllabus and kind of introduce you to what is required in the class. So I'm sharing here the Canvas page. Can you see Canvas? Can you see my, yeah? Okay, great. So so that's pretty much it. And I will also kind of point out key issues and dates that are important. Now, before I do any of that, any questions or concerns before we start? Anything that you've got? Anyone had any issues ordering your textbook? Okay, great. All right. Okay. So the class that you're going to be taking is the class that deals with the first half of the 20th century, more or less. I will introduce you to post-impressionism and kind of their influence on the art of the early 20th century. And we are going to finish with abstract expressionism, which is roughly comes to 1950s. The last reading kind of very, very briefly touch upon what happened after abstract expressionism and kind of border into kind of crossover into pop art. But this is really not the subject of the course. So for the class itself consists of essentially 2 parts. Reading of the textbook, kind of watching the lectures, doing the kind of learning the material, if you will, and answering kind of and doing short reflective assignments. So that's part number 1. And part number 2 is doing your own research project, where you decide on a research topic of your choice, whether it's an artist or a theme, and you're going to be working, and the result of that will be 8 to 10 page research paper. So it's a tall order because it's 3 weeks. So I'm going to try to do as much as possible. I have to say, for this class, I reduced the material that you need to learn as much as I possibly could. Like every time I was be like, do they have to know this or do they have to know that? So your textbook is structured in a very unusual way. Your textbook, it goes by year. So it is organized by year, and there's a very good reason for that. And that's why I love the textbook, because you can actually read like 2, 3, 4 pages and kind of get an idea of what happened. art of that period changed really quickly. Like you will see Cubism and Futurism, essentially, each of them kind of happen and go through their most intense period in the span of maybe 2 years. So it's like in a way, almost like a season, you know, that it's almost like what we now think of as fashion. Fashion goes through like 1 year, 2 years, and it's like boom, out of fashion. So something like that. So it's a very, very intense period. So your textbook kind of addresses that, but also indicates the connections between different artists, between different periods. So based on that, what I've done is I've divided the class into this particular intersession class into 5 modules. So in module 1, I'm introducing you to post-impressionism and the art of around 1900s. So what you have in each module, and I'm just scrolling, this is the student, I'm in the student view, my view looks different, so that's why it's not, you don't see high contrast here. You're welcome to use your own. So each module consists of compulsory work, so that is something that you should do. Optional work, other things that you may want to do. A lot of them are either recordings of the older lectures or some videos that are kind of interesting, and then assignments. Okay, so for each of those, then I have here readings that I'm asking you to do. For module 1, you don't have to have your textbook, because I'm thinking that you may not have it if you just ordered that. So I'm asking you to read things that I posted here. And then after that, you will see, so I'm showing you textbook readings. And if you open, these are not links. I'm just kind of indicating which years in the textbook you have to read, right? So 1900A, 1903, 1906, etc. Then I also have some PowerPoints that I've used before to teach the class. And I also have recordings from when I taught the class during the semester as well for you, if you to watch. And then at the end, there are a couple assignments. So what and this is kind of how each module works. So these are, then I organize them this way, and let me know if that makes any sense for you. I kind of organize them in a way that you need to learn previous module before the next one opens up. But if someone struggles with that, email me and I can kind of open it up, because to be honest, I'm not entirely sure how useful it is. It seems to make sense. I didn't do it for the last one because I figured nobody's going to start at the end. Any questions so far? All right. Okay, so let me then just kind of like the intro module is essential, kind of some information about me, asking you not to submit your work late, kind of, you know, resources for success, rules, policies, etc. So make sure the Canvas works, you know, everything is due on Canvas and things like that. Then this is what you, and I indicated the dates itself, so you should be working on module 1. And I saw that Will already submitted one of the works. You talked about your favorite work of art, which is awesome. Thank you. So for this module, you have 2 assignments. You have the assignment, which I'm asking you just to talk about your favorite work of art and explain why. If you can pay more attention to formal qualities of the work of art that you are discussing, that would be great, the colors, composition, etc. But again, this is something just to give you an introduction, just to get you thinking about, get you into the in the mood. And then the invisible flaneur, there are questions that I'm asking you to answer. There is an article by Elizabeth Wilson that I really like. The flaneur itself, the idea of the flaneur is someone who is wandering the city. If you think about in contemporary terms, it's a combination of someone who is kind of just strolling around and a journalist that is writing kind of social news and news about social events. But Elizabeth Wilson really kind of thinks about very thoroughly about that kind of idea of the modernity and how the idea of modern world in the 19th century gave rise and gave birth to that idea of the kind of this invisible stroller, the flaneur, and can the invisible kind of person who notices everything, could that be a woman? Because women in the 19th century and arguably in the 20th century always attracted more attention. They were more under scrutiny. So could the woman be a flaneur at that time, right? So this is what I'm asking you to do. The next module then starts, you should start on around January 8th. And this is the module on the early 20th century art. So you're going to look at Fauvism, early Cubism, Vienna art, like Klimt, for example, etc. So the early avant-garde. And for that, I'm asking you to do two things. For January 12th, I'm asking you to think about the idea of the expressionism as an artistic movement, and they connect between expressionism then, and you will learn quite a bit about expressionism, and expressionism now. Kind of are there any artworks that could be, or movies that could be kind of called expressionistic? So again, it's a reflection thing. And then we're going to start with your project, your research project. So I'm asking for annotated bibliography that is due on January 11th. So, and this is where I'm going to stop and talk to you a little bit about that. So for the final essay that you're going to do at the end of the class, you need to come up with a topic, with a thesis that is researchable, and you have to use 5 to 7 academic peer-reviewed sources, because most of you probably don't have immediate access to Geneseo library, but you have remote access. I'm assuming you're going to be using more articles than books, which is fine. If you end up using books, if you have something in the library, whatever you do. The main thing for me is for this works to be academic and peer reviewed. So if you're reading something and it does not have a bibliography at the end, stop reading, just set it aside. It's not what we need. If it does have bibliography and it's more than, say, 7-8 pages long, then kind of check it out. It has potential, right? So I have a lot more information in the annotated bibliography and what represents peer-reviewed source, if you need to, in the prompt of the assignment. In the prompt itself, you will see a sample of annotation, etc. So what I need you to do for annotated bibliography is to choose a topic, right? Doesn't have to be a thesis, has to be a topic. And then find 5 to 7 peer-reviewed sources that deal with this topic and annotate them. About 5 to 7 sentences for each. So once you submit that, and I'm going to try to read it right after you do that, I'm going to mark it and contact you and see if you want to then talk to me about your work. If you have challenges kind of dealing with transferring the topic into a thesis, If you could not find enough information or peer-reviewed sources on your topic, etc., etc. So around 12th or 13th of January, I keep an eye and either make an appointment with me to talk about your work, or if I feel like you need to talk to me, I will be contacting you. So usually I tell people that if you got less than B+ on this assignment, you have to work with me, because when I mark this particular one, I'm kind of thinking, okay, it's your first assignment for this course that deals with your work. So I'm trying to be generous, but at the same time, that's kind of predicting how you're gonna go and further, and it will affect your work. Okay, any questions? All right, so then module 3, we are going to work with Russian avant-garde, look at data, and kind of look at new objectivities. So all these pre-World War II, but also World War I, and slightly after. So for that, I'm kind of giving you a few things here, and then I'm asking you to do, this is Malevich's Black Square. That's a very short quiz. There is a video. It's about 10 minutes of giving you all the information about Malevich's Black Square, and then there is a quiz. It's very short. I'm also asking you to kind of come up with a list of movements and definitions that we've done so far, to kind of to organize your thoughts at that point, because by this time, trust me, it's going to get very, very confusing very quickly. And finally, I'm asking for paper proposal for January 18. So paper proposal is essentially what you're going to be writing in your essay. It has to be pretty short. I think I'm asking for 200, 250 words. So it's like 3/4 of a page at the tops. But by then you need to know your thesis. And this is the point where I'm going to look at your thesis statement. I'm going to look at your paper proposal. And again, if I see that you need my help, I'll be talking to you to how then to tweak or navigate your paper proposal to make it more doable, because by then we're really close to the end of the class. Okay, so again, it's very quick, so try to be very proactive, try to read as much as possible by the time you write your paper proposal. Module 4 is kind of anything to do with surrealism, pre-World War II, and there are, as you can see, lots of years included, but it is essentially all about various ways that surrealism is kind of affected art. And then the assignment, so I'm going to take this away. I'm sorry, I don't know why it ended up here. So here's what you need to do by January 20th. I'm asking you kind of to do a short reflection on propaganda and political art. But then for 22nd, this is your research presentation. So based on your research that you've done, by then you're going to do a 5 to 10 minute presentation of your topic. And again, in the prompt, I have it, and I think even in the syllabus, I have it written down slide by slide. But in essence, what you need is title, your thesis, 3 main arguments that could be 3 paintings, so 3 works of art, that how you're going to prove your argument, and the conclusion. Your presentation and the amount of slides could be much more than that. That's a bare minimum that I'm asking for, as long as you can present in up to 10 minutes is tops in terms of your kind of your presentation. So what you need to submit is the PowerPoint presentation with no script, just PowerPoint. If you want to include your script, by all means, but you don't have to. And then you're going to record yourself presenting on Zoom. I'm asking you not to do kind of recording as you present on PowerPoint. There is a record button on PowerPoint where you can talk about the slide. I do want to see your face and how you present. That's part of the kind of practice. So I'm asking you to do it on Zoom, upload it, make it unlisted on YouTube. Unlisted means that only people who have the link will be able to see that. So if you don't want to make it public, I completely understand. So, and then submit this, when I say recording for this assignment, you're essentially just submitting the link. Okay. So this is, and by the time you do your presentation and you have your argument, then it will definitely help you to write your paper. So the module 5 is abstract expressionism for the most part, some pop art, as I said. And I'm for the assignment, I'm asking, because at that time you don't have the material in your textbook anymore. We're kind of past the years of the textbook. The textbook that you buy have 2 volumes. I'm asking you to buy only one. Then these are PDFs. These are scanned text of those years that you need to read. They're right here. So I'm asking to do summary of 1 year of the reading, right? So any of the years that you have here in this module, just summarize for me one of these. And then your final essay, is, as I said, 8 to 10 pages. And then please include your images and bibliography. I'm asking for MLA, Modern Languages Association, as a citation style. If you're more familiar, if you come from social sciences, if you're more familiar with something else, you can use that as well. I don't mind, as long as you're consistent. If you want to use in-text citations rather than footnotes or endnotes, it's fine. I like MLA. I'm a humanities person. I use them, but it is what kind of works for you. So that's about it. That's kind of the class. Again, if I do want to talk to you at least once during this process to make sure that you don't feel lost in the material, but especially to make sure that you're on track on your research and to write your final essay. Any questions? Anything that we want to discuss? No? All right. Okay. So then I'm going to sign off. I will upload this session to and make a link to that on in the introductory module in case you need to turn to this. You have my email. I didn't set up particular office hours, but obviously I'm around. So if you want to email me, I can always jump with you on Zoom and kind of quickly talk through whatever needs to be addressed. Okay. So good luck. I'm heartbroken that it's not a in-person course where I can actually talk to you about all these crazy art movements that I like so much. I'm glad you're taking it because you're going to learn the art movements and hopefully kind of learn at least see some of the artworks. And best of luck. So just plan accordingly. It's going to be an intense course. Okay. All right. Okay. Good luck. Have a good night. Bye-bye.